So you're relocating to the Raleigh-Durham Chapel Hill area. I'm going to talk today about Durham, North Carolina, one of your many, many, many choices, along with Raleigh, Cary, Chapel Hill, Hillsborough, Wake Forest, and really all the others. But today we're focusing on Durham, North Carolina. I'm going to take you through some of the neighborhoods in Durham so you can get a little bit of a feel for it. And I'm going to show you different homes and different price points so that you can figure out what in Durham will fit your budget. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the differences between Durham as opposed to Raleigh and Chapel Hill and Cary and all the other towns in the area. And at the end, if you stick with me until the end, I'm going to show you a couple of secret things that only people local to Durham know about, so stick around. Hi, this is Bill Stevenson. Today's spotlight is on Durham, but if you want to know more about living in Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Cary, and all of the surrounding area, then make sure you subscribe to this channel so that when we do new videos, you're going to know about them. I've been living here for 30 plus years now, and I have a team at Spotlight Realty, and we enjoy very much helping people figure out where they want to move in Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and the surrounding area, of course. So whether you're moving here in 9 days or 90 days, let us know how we can help you. All of our contact info is in the description down here, and we would love to help you make a smooth move to this area. The first thing we're going to do is talk about just the general area. I want to show you a map of Durham, North Carolina. So let's look at the map. Okay, this is a map overview of Durham. First of all, let's zoom out and show you where we are. This is eastern United States. Zooming into North Carolina, here we see the triangle, right? This is what we refer to as a triangle, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and we zoom into Durham. And here we have, it shows the proximity here, how close Chapel Hill is, and how close Raleigh, the state capital, is. And if we zoom in further, we see some important landmarks. The ones I want to point out to you are, for example, here's Duke University Hospital, and this is Duke University's West Campus, right over here. All of this area. The hospital, Duke Gardens, what's called the Golf Club, Duke University Golf Club, to be part of Duke's West Campus. So that's West Campus. And over here, this little neighborhood is Duke East Campus. This is close to downtown Durham, so this right here, we can consider to be downtown central Durham. Trinity Park, Old West Durham, Walltown, Duke Park, all of these are downtown neighborhoods. We can show you that here's, of course, Durham Central Park, which is a small park right in the middle of downtown. And some other important things are, this is the Durham Bulls Stadium right here, and a place called American Tobacco, which you should probably tour. It's a really cool renovated warehouse district. It used to be tobacco warehouses, but now it's homes and restaurants and offices and a music venue, and it's really very cool. And across the street, for some reason it's not showing up here. Here it is Durham Performing Arts Center. So this is sort of the entertainment district. They have, I think about a 2,500 square foot auditorium here. Let's see if there's a picture of it. Yeah. It's really, really well run and well done. They have lots of great shows there, Broadway stuff and comedians and what have you. So there's that. That's a little bit of downtown and some downtown neighborhoods. But here again, just as I was trying to point out, here's Duke University here, East and West Campus. Down here in the south side of town, an area that we call, that's South Point, is a very large regional mall. Over here is Research Triangle Park. See that's right here. It's on the southeast corner of Durham. And then over here is the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Not in Durham, obviously, but it is a major driver of economic activity and a major I won't call it a suburb of Durham. They wouldn't like that very much in Chapel Hill, but it is a major source of employment. There's a medical center there as well, UNC hospitals. And so the point is that these three places, UNC, RTP, and Duke University Medical Center, those are the three major drivers of employment in the area, along with to some extent downtown Durham itself. So maybe four major drivers. And so what this map really, what I want to show you here is that Financially speaking, and I'm talking financially speaking only, from a value standpoint, this area, the area that is in close proximity to all 3 or 4 major drivers of employment, is a very, very financially safe area to buy a home, because values are maintained quite easily. Even in the latest downturn, South Durham, which is what I call their South Durham, did quite well. Now, the further you go out, for example, if you were to, buy a home out here, it's still okay to get to Raleigh and RTP right here. And you're not too far from Duke, but you're a good long way from UNC Chapel Hill, which is another driver of employment. So it's a little bit less secure out here in as far as home values go, and home values not declining. I know some people who live down in this area, Governor's Club, down in Chatham County, which is the next county south of Chapel Hill and Durham. And if they want to get to work at Duke or in downtown Durham, there's something like 46 traffic lights between there and there. So it's not as convenient, but it's super convenient to Chapel Hill, of course, and not at all bad to Research Triangle Park. But it's really hard to get to downtown Durham and Duke. Not hard, but it takes a long time to get to downtown Durham and Duke. And so, living there, you probably wouldn't live there if you were working at Duke, because there are too many other choices. So you see right in the middle of all this is a place called Hope Valley. And that's what we'll call South Durham, Hope Valley. There's another cluster of neighborhoods here. There's Woodcroft, Hope Valley Farms, Woodlake, Trotter Ridge, and Marydell. These are neighborhoods that are sort of the classic South Durham neighborhoods. Most of them from the mid 80s to early to mid 90s. Homes were built there. You can see it has very, very easy proximity to Research Triangle Park, very easy proximity to University of North Carolina and downtown and Duke, and also has, it's easy to jump on 40 and get to the airport, get to Raleigh, get to wherever else you want to go. So that's why I think South Durham is sort of the most stable area in Durham as far as home prices go. Downtown Durham is also great. It held its value as well, just because it had sort of a renaissance in the last 10, 15, 20 years. All these downtown neighborhoods like Central Park neighborhood, Trinity Park, Old West Durham, Malltown Duke Park, and very much Watts Hospital Hillendale did very, very well. It's mostly south of 85, south of this major interstate. Downtown Durham did just fine, just great, and it's very trendy and a lot of building going on. A couple of high rises have been built in the last 5 years. 20 plus stories with lots and lots of residences and mixed use. So that's great. And again, this is very, very convenient to Duke University Hospital and the VA over here. Now this area, what I'm calling West Durham, may go from, let's start in Old West Durham, which is sort of the edge of downtown, through American Village, and this area, I'm calling this sort of West Durham. Actually, we'll include down here and Garrett Farms and that area, and Hope Creek. So don't be confused. You may see the same word coming up twice here: Duke Forest here and Duke Forest here. This is the Duke Forest neighborhood. Duke Forest neighborhood is, you'll find a lot of really beautiful mid-century modern homes there. Duke Forest is actually sort of a living laboratory for Duke University and forestry and just biology and how things work. So it's just mostly for research, but lots and lots of walking trails through here as well. So that's West Durham. Those are some West Durham neighborhoods that I'm going to be showing you. Out here, let's go a little bit north to some really great neighborhoods up here as well. This one's sort of the furthest away, Treyburn. Great neighborhood built in between 1985 and 2000, 2005, all around this lake and a really nice golf course. And there are some jobs up here. I believe there's some pharmaceutical companies up here. I know Merck has a facility up here. And but it is a little bit of a haul to get to Durham. but some people like that. It's very, very nice up there, and it's one of the premier neighborhoods in Durham, one of the premier, probably the premier neighborhood in North Durham. There are some others. Crowsdale is also a golf course community built in the 70s, 80s, some of it in the 90s actually. Actually, some of it even more recently than that, the 2000s. Country Club Heights, it's another one that is around Stead Pines Golf Course and Club. So those are some great North Durham neighborhoods. Old Farm is sort of the quintessential old 1970s, lots of split levels in there. So those are some great neighborhoods. When you go further east here, things are a little bit newer. So between downtown Durham, this is sort of east part of downtown Durham, East Durham. But if you go out here, Lakes Grace and Green Grove Park, these places popped up in the early 2000s. Lots and lots and lots of homes built out this way. And it was kind of nice because it's sort of on the road between central Durham and Wake Forest area and all of this area north of Raleigh that is nice and residential. So that's a quick overview of the areas around Durham, West Durham, South Durham, Central Durham, North Durham, and East Durham. You also might want to check out at some point, I'll do another video on this, but the town of Hillsborough is really a lovely place. If you like small towns, but it's a small town, but it still has the sophistication of being 5 miles to Duke University and maybe 6 or 7 miles to the University of North Carolina. And so it's really a great place to live, if you ask me. One of my favorite spots in the Triangle. So there it is. That's a little bit of a primer, however you pronounce that word, of the layout of Durham. So there you have an overview of Durham. And you know a little bit more about where it is and what it's like, but I want to show you some things. Okay, so that's downtown Durham. The next place I want to take you is South Durham. South Durham is just a little bit north of Chapel Hill, but still in Durham. And there are reasons that is important, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But let's go to South Durham. Okay, here we are in South Durham. This is one of the great features, one of the central features of South Durham. This is called the American Tobacco Trail, named after the American Tobacco Company, but it's one of these Rails to Trails projects that was completed, I think, within the last 10 to 15 years, that really connects. So about 5 miles that way, 5 or 6 miles is downtown Durham. And the other direction, it goes another 10 or 15 miles this direction out into the country, out into different counties. Down by Jordan Lake is where it gets to eventually. Crosses over 40 in a spectacular a pedestrian bridge that goes over Interstate 40. Goes through actually South Point Mall, which is another central feature here of South Durham. And it's used for, of course, exercise, running and biking. Biking, it's a biker's or a cyclist's paradise. Runners, there's the gravel on the side that will save your knees. And further down, as you get out into the country, it becomes less of a paved path and maybe a little bit easier on your knees. But anyway, this is the American Tobacco Trail, and one of the great things about South Durham. Okay, we're in Woodcraft right now. This is one of South Durham's most well-known neighborhoods. And I'm going to show you what about $400,000. This home is on the market for about $400,000, and let's see what $400,000 buys in South Durham. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, right around 1,700 square feet. Nice wood-like flooring. It's actually not wood, it's vinyl plank. Kitchen has been recently redone. You'll be able to see that. Quartz countertops, new sink, painted cabinets, some new appliances. Lots of good stuff. It's a very small backyard. This home is, again, it's listed at $400,000, and most homes in this neighborhood are really sell for closer to $5. I think one of the reasons that this one is selling for less is because it's on It's very close to the main road that goes through this part of town, Fayetteville Road, and so you can hear some of the noise. And the yard is pretty small. Still very, very nice. And I think bargain priced at $400,000. So this is also South Durham. This is a neighborhood called Hope Valley. It's sort of the real old school sort of center of South Durham. The part we're in right now is, I'd say, the lower end. This home here was built in the 1970s, and it is priced just shy of $1 million. So let's see what it has to offer. White appliances, high-end refrigerator, double wall oven. Interesting thing about this home, it looked like it was carpet coming up the stairs, but upstairs it's really all hardwoods with just sort of an area rug type arrangement. Still, it's 1970s era on homes, so the layouts a little bit cozier than many of the sort of the newer layouts that are very open plan. Again, this is an older neighborhood. A cozy fireplace, and again built-in shelves, and again, this is another sort of study office kind of place here. And this is a home in the Hope Valley neighborhood of South Durham. So there are 3 neighborhoods in South Durham: Woodcroft, Hope Valley Farms a little bit north of that, and then Wood Lake, which is a little bit to the east of here across Fayetteville Road. Those are sort of the building spree between 1985 and 1995 that South Durham went through that kind of made South Durham what it is today. A very nice suburban wooded neighborhood that is about halfway, almost exactly halfway between Duke University and the University of North Carolina. So, about 6 miles to each of those, to the medical centers in both cases, the campuses in both cases. So it's very convenient, very popular to live here if you're a grad student or a recent graduate or somebody who's working at one of the hospitals. And so very, very nice and convenient place. Still, again, only 5 or 6 miles to downtown, about 7 or 8 miles to the airport and to RTP. So it's a wonderful place to live. You're sort of protected from the economic ups and downs because, again, it's so close to the major areas of employment in the area, Duke, UNC, and RTP. So even during bad downturns in the past, South Durham has pretty much held its value. So that's a good thing to know about South Durham.
All right, that's fun. South Durham is a great place to live. That's actually where I've been living for the past 30 years and raised 3 children there, and we can talk about schools a little bit. Durham Public Schools has done a marvelous job of giving all parents all sorts of different kinds of options. You have your neighborhood schools that you can walk to or have a short drive to or bicycle ride to. And by the way, the weather is so nice here, 7 months out of the year, you can almost always walk or bike to school. They also have a lot of magnet schools like Durham School of the Arts, which was recently named the #1 school in the state of North Carolina. No matter where you live in Durham, you can choose to go to different schools in Durham, whether they're neighborhood public schools or magnet schools or charter schools or private schools. There's almost no boundary that you can't cross over. There are exceptions to that rule too, so let's make sure we talk about that when you contact us. In any case, schools are obviously very important to parents, so schools are something we're prepared to talk about with you. Next, we're going to take a little bit of a drive to North Durham. North Durham is sort of the rural protected area of the county and the city and the county of Durham. So let's take a look at that.
Okay, get your hiking boots on. This is one of those hidden gems that I've been telling you about that only the locals of Durham, North Carolina know. We're in part of the Eno River State Park here. This is the path to the Eno Quarry. It's a good old-fashioned swimming hole, and there's a nice hike that gets to it.
So there you have an overview of Durham, North Carolina. I'm probably leaving you with a lot of questions that I don't have time to answer in this video. So feel free to subscribe to this channel, contact us if you have more questions. Subscribe if you want to learn more about the other areas, the other towns in Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill. And we'll see you again soon. I'm Bill Stevenson from Spotlight Realty. This has been a Spotlight on Durham, North Carolina.